Why do companies try to be relatable? It simply does not work. I can't relate to a building. Compared to them, I'm just a cardboard box. A cardboard box with snacks. Hello everyone, Mr. Daydream here, and welcome to Chainsaws Extra. Now there are bound to be things in this world that might get the best of us. Even a well-composed person could suddenly snap if someone were to cross what they consider to be the line. Now, whatever makes them feel that way can vary drastically. It could be a legitimate reason to get upset, it could be a specific action that incites mixed reactions, or it could be something so minor it's absolutely nuts to get blood-boilingly angry over in the first place. Now, I can certainly understand when people express their disapproval on something they personally don't agree with. That's fine and all that stuff. It's when they feel the need to make a bit that involves destroying or disposing a certain product related to it, usually by the company that makes them. For example, Gillette released the infamous PSA that's about encouraging men to be better. Now, I can somewhat understand what they were trying to go for here, but it just felt like they were shaming men simply for being men. So you have all kinds of reactions, including this classic of a guy who threw his Gillette razor into his toilet, followed with the caption, "Goodbye, Gillette. Hello, Schick." And all I'm thinking is, was it really necessary to make a picture like that? Especially considering the fact that he had to fish the razor out of his toilet shortly after the photo was taken, cause that's not gonna flush. So because of that, I simply cannot take him seriously. You had me with your comment, but with the picture, that ironically made it all go down the toilet. Another example of public outcry was when Bud Light partnered with Dylan Mulvaney. They ended up getting a lot of backlash for this, simply because of the idea of a beer company promoting a transgender person to be in their product is a move that's ultimately seen as pandering. Woke even. People have begun saying all kinds of hateful things towards the company because of this, like how they feel betrayed, how Bud Light is alienating their target audience, how they poison the water supply, burn their crops, and deliver the plague unto their houses. Stuff like that, for the most part. Many were outraged and decided to cut ties with Bud Light entirely, saying that it tastes like piss anyway, so it won't be missed. To which I say, what are you talking about? All beer tastes like piss. You're not making a valid statement. And if it always tasted like piss, then why are you drinking it in the first place? You have a bizarre fetish? Now, just to be clear, this video is not about dumping on Bud Light or Dylan, because I honestly don't care. A company doing woke things is common practice these days. It's hard to get angry anymore, it's not even worth it. It's yet another corporate ploy to push out more products. That's always the reason behind their motives, and I really wish people would start to realize that. What I don't like is, again, the type of reaction people have because of this. There's this one guy who emptied out all of his Bud Light cans from his fridge and into the trash bin.
This is where it now belongs. In the garbage.
You know, whether you like it or not, you already paid money for those cans. It's kind of pointless to get rid of them now. Maybe if you returned them and got a full refund, that would have made a more powerful statement. But this, you're literally throwing your money to waste. Then there's the musician Kid Rock who decided to get rid of his Bud Light cans in a more practical manner. With guns, of course. Interesting. And he also has a few nice things to say after this massacre of aluminum and alcohol.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
Was that really necessary, Mr. Rock? Now look, there are definitely things that many of us cannot take lightly in this world. But I'm sorry, I simply cannot take them seriously after doing something silly as destroying beer cans in a comical way. This is like if a kid were to make a video on how much he hates cornflakes because his parents got him that instead of Frosted Flakes. He goes on a lengthy rant on why it sucks and how much it sucks, then ends the video by grabbing a sharpened pencil and then proceeds to stab an empty box of cornflakes like dum 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 or something like that, I suppose. The kid no doubt feels like he just showed the whole world who's boss due to his daring hot take. But to the rest of us, we just find it hilarious. There is something oddly cute about a kid trying to come off as looking tough by doing manly things. There exists plenty of videos like that, especially if it involves video game consoles. It's amusing when a child is doing it, but when it's a fully grown adult, it's just pure cringe, man. I mean, whatever happened to just saying, I don't appreciate what they're doing and I won't support them anymore? And leave it at that? No. Instead, they feel they need to top it off with a ridiculous and overall pointless skit that further shows just how immature they really are. I mean, that's what this kind of stuff is. It's not insightful, it's not humorous, it's just plain childish. I used to think that being an adult meant that you had to handle things in a more sophisticated and mature manner, but after today, it's pretty clear that no matter how old some people are, they're still children. Now look, it may be rich for someone like me to say that destroying things is unwarranted, but see, I prefer when it's done solely for entertainment purposes only. That's why I love crazy YouTube channels. I can't get enough of that sweet, sweet unorthodox chaos. When it comes to these guys, however, it's not done for laughs. It's done purely to express their inner hatred and potential malice. Not gonna lie, but after seeing what Kid Rock did in his response video, I don't think I can ever be comfortable being around this guy anymore. I mean, if he's willing to do this to a bunch of beer cans of all things, then how would he handle any other situation that might potentially drive him mad? I can totally picture him smacking someone across the face with a shovel because someone accidentally spilled hot coffee on his shirt. If a kid were to do something like this involving guns, everyone would be speechless and stunned beyond belief, because what would happen if someone at school might cause him to snap? It's definitely something to be concerned about. But if it's an adult doing this, it's completely fine. He's old enough to be mature about all this. Is he really though? Because if anything, it feels like he's truly living up to his name. Now look, I don't have anything against these people, but their edgy bits really undermines whatever statement they were originally trying to put across. I simply cannot take them seriously after doing something so silly and over the top as pouring beer cans into a trash bin or shooting the barley out of them with a machine gun. Like, come on, this is something straight out King of the Hill. It also gets incredibly jarring whenever they feel the need to be overly sappy for no good reason other than to add more weight to their sob story. It's always something in the lines of, me and my dad have always enjoyed this product when he was alive, but ever since this company has done something completely unacceptable, I can no longer enjoy the product anymore. Like, dude, calm down. You're letting a can of beer get the best of you, for goodness sake. Now, if you want to express your overall disapproval on something, that's fine, but please, just be simple and straightforward. That's all you need. There's really no reason to go the extra mile by making a stupid bid that involves destroying said product that made you upset in the first place. People seem to have this misconception that conjuring juvenile skits involving destruction somehow makes whatever they say more empowering. It doesn't. If anything, it detracts whatever credibility you were initially trying to establish. This is the equivalent of having a court case where the plaintiff suddenly spews a diss track at the defendant. You really think people will find you professional after that? And also, please don't bring up dead relatives in your sob story. It has absolutely nothing to do with what's currently happening with the company. You're only making them grateful to be 6 feet under, because then they won't have to put up with your whiny behavior anymore. As I said earlier, destroying things can be funny, but only when it's done for comical or entertainment purposes. For example, the Angry Video Game Nerd has found creative ways to tarnish or annihilate games or accessories that really pushed his buttons. iDubbbz has also found unique ways of disposing the one-up box he clearly hates, such as shooting arrows at it, throwing it off a cliff, or turning it into a bird feeder. Man, even by iDubbbz standards, that's just weird. But it's still enjoyable regardless. But when it comes to these guys, not so much. It's just degrading and cringeworthy. Like, you're too old to still behave this way. Now look, I can totally understand why people would get upset on certain things, but this is not how you do it. You have to be more mature about the situation in order for people to take you more seriously. Throwing a tantrum of a bit does not cut it. It's actually gotten to the point to where I'm really starting to hate this type of reaction, not gonna lie. It reminds me of those infuriating pictures of kids destroying their smartphones that their parents got them as a present, all because it wasn't the recent model or the right color or something ridiculously minor like that. Ungrateful turds. If a company did something that genuinely made me upset, I'm just gonna say, hey, I don't like this and I don't support you anymore. And yeah, leave it at that. That's all I need. Yeah, all I'm saying is maturity makes a powerful statement. This coming from a guy who's dressed like this. So please, just say how you really feel and carry on with your day. Leave the chaotic skits to freaks like us, because we know how it's properly done. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Chain Sauce Extra. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and have a nice day. A cardboard box with snacks. Oh my goodness, you gotta love dogs.